Have you ever set a goal so clear in your mind, yet found yourself drifting away from it day after day? You promised yourself you would wake up earlier, eat healthier, or finally start that project. But the days slipped by and the promises dissolved into excuses. That gap between what you wanted and what you lived, that gap is where discipline lives. And today, I want to walk with you through 10 timeless voices that will remind you, challenge you, and guide you toward mastering it. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Those words from Jim Rohn cut straight to the truth. Think of a goal as a distant shore. You can see it, you can dream of standing on it, but without discipline, you'll never reach it. Discipline is the bridge that connects your present self with your future self. And the only way to cross it is by placing one plank down every single day through small, consistent actions. When you choose to exercise, even for 20 minutes, or write just one page, you're laying another piece of that bridge. Over time, the bridge becomes strong enough to carry you to where you always wanted to be. But as Rohn also warned, we must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. This is a sobering reminder that pain is unavoidable. The sting of waking up earlier, resisting temptations, or pushing through effort is real, but it fades quickly. Regret, however, lingers. It whispers in your ear years later, asking, "What if you had tried harder? What if you hadn't quit?" So the question is not whether you will face pain, but which kind of pain you're willing to carry. And discipline, while uncomfortable in the short term, always pays you back in pride, confidence, and freedom. Which brings us to Abraham Lincoln's wisdom. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Every day, you stand at that crossroads. Do you want the comfort of another hour in bed, or the strength that comes from keeping your promise? Do you want the sugar rush now, or the health you desire most? Discipline is not about denying yourself forever. It's about saying, "not yet," so that one day you can say yes to something far greater. When you pause for just 5 seconds before a decision and ask yourself which desire matters more, you begin to shift from living for the moment to living for the future. Jocko Willink, a Navy SEAL who lived by discipline, put it in simple, powerful terms: discipline equals freedom. At first, that sounds contradictory. How can rules equal freedom? But look closer. Discipline with money gives you freedom from debt. Discipline with your body gives you freedom from illness. Discipline with your time gives you freedom to pursue what truly matters. The habits that feel restrictive in the moment actually unlock a life where you are no longer shackled by chaos, debt, or weakness. Discipline doesn't take your freedom away, it hands it back to you. This isn't a new idea. 2,000 years ago, Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic philosopher, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom has never been about circumstances, it's always been about self-control. Without discipline, you are not free, you are enslaved by impulses, cravings, and distractions. But each small act of discipline, each choice to resist, to focus, to rise above, is an act of liberation. It's not about perfection, it's about progress toward mastery of yourself. And as James Clear reminds us in his book Atomic Habits, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. Dreams are fragile without structures to hold them up. It is your daily habits, your systems that sustain you when motivation runs dry. Think of brushing your teeth. You don't wait for inspiration, you simply do it. Now imagine if your fitness, your learning, or your business routines became just as automatic. Discipline is not a matter of willpower alone, but of designing systems that make good choices easier and bad choices harder. Plato once said, "The first and best victory is to conquer self." Life often feels like a battlefield, not with enemies outside, but with the wars inside, between laziness and ambition, fear and courage, excuses and action. Each act of discipline, no matter how small, is a victory in that battle. Making your bed, taking a cold shower, beginning your work when you don't feel like it. These are not trivial acts. They are training sessions for your inner warrior. And the more you win those small battles, the more prepared you are for the great ones. Even in the harshest realities of war, leaders understood this. General Omar Bradley once said, "Without discipline, the army would just be a mob." A mob is chaotic, noisy, full of energy, but going nowhere. An army, however, is precise, ordered, and unstoppable. Your life is no different. Without discipline, your energy scatters across distractions. With discipline, your actions line up like soldiers, marching together toward your vision. Discipline transforms raw potential into organized power. Oprah Winfrey, who rose from poverty to global influence, captured it perfectly. Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. That is the essence of discipline. Sacrificing short-term ease for long-term freedom. It means enduring late nights of study, endless practice, or long hours of work, not because they are fun, but because they are necessary stepping stones to the life you desire. Discipline is not glamorous in the beginning, but it creates a future where you have the privilege to choose freely, because you paid the price in advance. And finally, George Washington, the first president of the United States, declared, "Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable. It procures success to the weak and esteem to all." This is the ultimate truth. Discipline multiplies your strength. It turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. It gives respect to those who practice it and transforms weakness into resilience. You don't need to start with talent, wealth, or connections. Discipline alone can elevate you beyond what you ever thought possible. So when we weave these voices together, the message is clear. Discipline is not punishment, it is the path. It is the bridge between your dreams and reality. It is the choice of temporary pain over lifelong regret. It is freedom, self-mastery, systems, victories, order, sacrifice, and ultimately, power. The truth is, discipline is not about being perfect every day. It is about showing up again and again, no matter how small the step. It is about treating your actions as votes for the person you want to become. And over time, those votes add up until you wake one day and realize you are standing on the very shore you once only dreamed of. So I leave you with this. Choose discipline today, in whatever small form you can. Wake up when you said you would. Do the work you promised yourself. Not because it's easy, but because your future self is waiting, and they are worth it. Now, it's your turn. What is one discipline you will commit to today? Write it down, speak it out, and begin. Because discipline is not just what you do, it's who you are becoming.